Welcome back, everybody. In the first episode, we were breaking down using the magic wand to push back the cuticles. What's the next step after pushing the cuticles?
So next step is going to be to remove shine. Now, there's two ways of doing it. There's an okay way and there's a better way.
It's using the e-file.
No,
but people are scared of it.
Yeah, and it's true because people are scared of it because they don't know how to use it. Okay, you know, you can cause damage. Again, if you're not using proper speeds, proper pressures, proper angles, and things like that. Let's talk about our sanding band as long as we are talking about seasoning.
Do you season an arbor band?
With ours, they actually don't have a super sharp edge. So even like that, it's not going to cut me. Now, if you feel like you need to take that off, if you're a little uncertain, and for a newbie, I would definitely take that. Okay. So all I would do is just give it a couple of quick little tap, tap, tap right on that edge. And that's going to kind of dull that edge. So seasoning files is super important. But let's go into, if you're not an electric file person just yet, okay, how we would actually do prep on a nail. So let me grab your finger. Let's see. Let me grab this one. Okay. So this is why we always recommend using the e-file for your prep, because what you want to make sure is that you're getting all of that dead cuticle, that protein growth, all of that cleaned out, and then remove the shine from the nail. Now I'm being gentle. I'm coming around your cuticle area, kind of filing along that edge, and I'm getting most of that dead protein growth, even down those little sides down there. And then I would just follow through to gently, very lightly removing the shine. Okay, so that's how, before I started using an e-file 20 something years ago, that's how we would prep. You can still see all that white flaky stuff.
Yeah, I do see it there.
Down those sides, kind of down around that edge there. Look at all that white flaky stuff that's still coming up. Okay? Because with that hand file, you can't get all the way in to that cuticle. And another thing is, a lot of times I see people, they try to get in there and they angle their file. A lot of people will angle their file and then they end up actually cutting into that nail rather than filing away that dead cuticle. So as that nail grows out, you see what we like to call rings of fire as that nail grows out.
You could get rings of fire with a hand file? Because I know you guys have talked about it with the e-file.
Yep. With an e-file, there's two bits that I really like to use when I am prepping. And one is our diamond cuticle square bit, and then not this one, definitely not this one. You
That's
guys,
the X-cut.
A carbide bit is never to be used on a natural nail.
Gotcha.
Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts. This will take down your nail too fast. The diamond cuticle square bit or the Mandrel and sanding band, and this is just a medium grit sanding band. Okay? So a lot of times, what I like to do, I tend to work with my e-file on about 4,000 to 5,000 RPMs. I think with this e-file, about 5,000 works good. I don't know if you guys can see this, but his arm is out at an angle like this. That's exactly how we want it. You don't want your client sitting straight out like this, because what's going to happen is exactly what happened as I put my arms out like this.
So no Frankensteining.
No Frankensteining. Okay. Gotcha. I'm going to use an overhand grip because, again, he's got a relaxed hand now, so now I can move his hand wherever I need it. And I can also kind of pull those sidewalls down a little bit more, exposing all of that down on the sides. I'm going to balance.
Fulcrum finger.
Fulcrum finger.
The double F.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to call it.
The double F. I like that. So I'm going to just start right up that sidewall, doing just short little strokes. I'm not trying to go all the way at once, just short little strokes, up, around, and then back down. Now, notice the angle of my bit. I'm always keeping that bit flat on the nail surface, okay? Now on my sidewalls, it looks like I'm angling up, but if you look at it, I don't know if you can see, I'm always keeping that bit flat. I'm not like coming in here. If we look from the side, I'm not coming in here and carving in. I always want to work flat. We divide the bit into 3 zones. So zone 1 is the top third of the bit, zone 2, the middle third, and zone 3, the base of the bit. So when you're working on your prep, you're going to be using zone 1, maybe down into zone 2, just for kind of that visual, that pressure. We're not going to be using that corner. Okay.
Gotcha.
And again, a lot of people try to just use the corner, but we're going to use that whole zone 1.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Now at this point, once you've come all the way through here, you're at kind of a diagonal. So you're going to stay in that same position, but you're going to quickly just kind of feather across that nail. Again, staying in that same diagonal position. You're not trying to come all the way across like this. You're just going to do quick little feathering techniques. Now, you get to prep.
All right.
Okay, so you are right-handed.
Yes.
First things first. Yep. And I see a lot of people do this. Ideally, you want it on your side that you're going to be working on.
Gotcha.
Then you're not crossing things over. You're not stretching the cord and things like that.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for your prep, about 4,000 to 6,000 is about right.
Total
Let's get
weight?
into our prep here.
All right. So overhand.
Yep.
I got it at 4.
Okay. And
oh, is
hold on a second before you even start. So your hand is in the proper position. Hers is not.
Oh, you're the.
There you go.
That's right.
Yep.
Right there.
Yep.
You're right.
Good.
Now
Okay.
to prep.
Okay.
Oh. All right.
Okay.
So from right to left.
Okay. First things first. Pinky.
Oh, fulcrum.
Okay.
That's the
again,
FF.
That's one thing that I will nag at you. I don't like to say nag, but I will nag at you every single time, because having that pressure into your pinky takes the pressure off of the bit and takes it off of the nail. If you don't have that proper balance on there, you're going to end up putting too much pressure, and it's going to cause heat and burn the client. So you're going to work just through that little dotted line. Flip this hand over.
Oh, yep.
Yep.
We're just gonna.
And keep your bit flat on the nail.
Oh, this feels weird.
Where are you balancing?
I am not bad. Wow. I keep somehow forgetting these things.
Because it's not something that you're used to doing. It's not just your everyday techniques. This is a new thing that you're trying to train your hands to do. Do you see it? I don't know if you're noticing on your sanding band here, as you touch the nail, it's kind of slowing down just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm going to turn you up to 5,000.
Okay.
Because I was just a little too low for you. Good. Okay.
Wow, I'm shaking.
That's what I say. Take a breath. No, you're not done.
Oh,
yet.
okay.
You're not done yet. Okay.
And so now go through.
So I just want you to take a look here. Okay. You see you've left a little bit of shiny space back there. Okay. So as you're working, kind of tip that finger so that you can actually see where you are filing. There you go. Good. Okay. And stop. So again, this is where a lot of times people will waste time, is they'll go through it once, they'll go through it twice, and they're like, well, I didn't get it good enough, so I go through it a third time and a fourth time, and you don't need to. Okay?
Gotcha.
So if you got all the way where you needed to get, you're good. I want you to go through that whole process from starting from here, coming over to here, and then when you get to here, that's when you're going to do that one direction in a diagonal. And you're actually doing something automatically that I wanted to talk about. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay, you're doing absolutely right. As you're working, so we talked about the zones, zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Okay, same thing with the nail. The nail has 3 zones. Zone 1 is up by that cuticle area. Zone 2 is through that arch, that apex, and zone 3 is through the free edge. Okay, as you're working in that diagonal, you don't want to keep that bit flat like this and just use zone 1 of your bit. You want your zone 1 to connect to zone 1, zone 2 to zone 2, and zone 3 to zone 3. Okay, and you're basically just following the contour of that nail, so you're not just going flat with zone 1 of the bit. One other thing that I want to talk about with your sides here, let me bring this here. Okay, so if you feel like maybe you went through, because you kind of came over to your sides and then down to your sides here. So what you can do is, if maybe you missed that spot, because you don't want to be coming all the way down here, because again, what can happen is it can wrap around or it can notch out those little corners. So again, staying at that diagonal, you may miss your edges here. Okay, so you can come from zone 3, from here, pull forward. Same thing, zone 1, position here and pull forward.
Okay.
So if you missed those edges, you don't have to come all the way down like this. You can just use that base or that tip and clean those up.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So it's really about like, I'm going to go through here and then right here.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Awesome. So, okay. So we've gone through kind of the technique of the technique of prepping. You recommend having a hand, using these tips. You don't recommend it on yourself.
Use Sally, use our little trainer hand until you feel comfortable. Okay, when you can go through all 10 nails, you can go through that cuticle, you can do that feathering technique, you can get down your sides, all of that. Once you feel comfortable with that, then you can move on to a real hand.
Making sure that your settings are right or correct with the machine. Fulcrum, pen position, fulcrum finger, baby, double left, overhand position, using the entire bit.
Again, if you can't get your prep down, if you don't have your prep down to where everything is perfect, anything on top of that isn't going to matter.
Because it's just going to lift.
Exactly.
So thank you so much for breaking this process down. If you guys, let us know your thoughts down in the comments. Let us know what you want to see us break down. This is a series for you guys, for the beginners. If you're a seasoned pro, like,
yeah, you're probably like, I know that, but you know what? There may be some little bits and pieces here that maybe you didn't know, or maybe it's good to hear that refresher. So.
Thank you so much, Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.